Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sam, and I'll be doing the free video for June 4th, 2021. So, as always, I just finished recording the premium video for the folks in the Gold Room. And in the Friday videos, they usually go about an hour and a half or so. And we'll look at every world market. We look at all the markets here. We look at all the markets in Europe and Asia. We look at currencies, commodities, and then we look at all the different sectors. And we try to put all the pieces together to get the best understanding of whether there's any problems that we should be aware of, or if everything kind of looks like smooth sailing. This was one of the more bullish scenarios that we have seen going into next week. I'm sure it's not going to be as easy as just up, up, and away, but most things do look very well aligned. We're starting to get leadership back from the key leadership components of the market, specifically the semiconductors and even a little bit of technology, which should help carry the load going into the middle and end of the month. So one of the biggest beneficiaries of this dynamic has actually been what happened with bonds. So just real quick, I'm going to show you what's going on here in bonds, and I'm going to show it to you via the ZB. And it's kind of an interesting dynamic here. So this is a pretty messed up chart, right? It's very strongly in a downtrend. It's been trading sideways. It's a mess. But it's really going to be important for you as a trader to know what bonds are doing next week, because by and large, you really want to see the ZB go higher next week. And that's going to give a lot of leadership groups such as technology and semiconductors that wind in their sails to then really start to drive the market. So this is a pretty beat up chart, right? This is not a chart that you typically would want to look at as a buy, but the potential that this chart could actually start to go higher here and start to maybe reverse some of this downtrend is as high as we have seen. One signal that I pointed out to the room is, you see how the trend oscillator here, indicator at the bottom, you see how the green line has gotten above the red line, and then every time the green line comes back to the red line, it's starting to hold. You can also see that over here as well, and frankly, you can start to see it now in the daily time frame. Basically, what that tells me, it tells me that this sideways movement in bonds is about to start to shift to an upwards movement. And if that is the case, you really want to focus on these leadership groups such as semiconductors and technology. So with that understanding, let's take a quick look at SMH here, which is really starting to shape up. You had a little bit too much momentum going into these highs back here. And you can see that because your momentum started declining. Now, when your momentum is declining, it's usually not the best opportunity to go directionally long, because you have declining momentum. So you're going more into a compression stage. But once you've completed the compression stage, you then go into a squeeze, and then that compression turns back into expansion. So it's compression to expansion, back to compression, and then back to expansion, which is what I think we're about to see here. You have a double bottom with a higher low. You have this flat top here right around 258 on SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF. And the potential that you could actually test significantly higher is right there. I mean, this could test about 8 to 10% higher on the semis. I have a target on this at 270. So if you do symmetry or you do an extension, it takes you into 270, and I think that's a great play here on the semis. You can play it through SMH, you can play it through literally any semiconductor. You can choose your own adventure. I like AMAT, I like Texas Instruments, obviously NVIDIA is a beast. AMD might even participate, although that one's not as favorable. Intel may participate, not as favorable. But the one that I've been playing is AMAT, or I started playing today is AMAT. And then I'm going to be looking at LRCX, KLAC, things like that. Honestly, if you don't want to choose, you could just bet on the field and buy SMH, and I think that works. So that's the first idea that I'd like to share with you, is the idea that semiconductors have to start providing leadership as soon as next week. And I would look for 270 on SMH. I'm going to throw a few more ideas your way here. This is another one that I bought today. I just shorted the 205 puts. And I think this is a pretty clean chart here. It's 3M. The industrials in general are also still in play here. I think you can play them through 3M, Caterpillar, Emerson, Honeywell, a lot of different choices. The place where I chose to express it is in 3M, but I'm also going to look to buy Caterpillar. So I think those are the two best ones in the group. I already have a position here in 3M. It looks great. I would look for a new high here, and I also need to buy Caterpillar next week. The other one that I would show you here is going to be Cisco. So you can look at Cisco, you can look at IBM. They look very similar. These kind of old school, like, back in the day, 1999 tech names. They're coming back to life, and this is a legitimate setup here in Cisco. So understanding that tech is starting to lead, and also understanding that old, traditional tech such as Cisco and IBM have really good setups. I think they're great ways to express this. So I'm looking for a new high here in Cisco, and I don't have a position here quite just yet, just because it was kind of tough to buy the high today. But on any pullbacks here on Cisco, especially if it dips back to about 53.60 or so, I definitely think that's a buy. So just a few ideas for you: semiconductors, a handful of industrials, 3M, and then old school tech like Cisco, IBM, and then we can throw new school tech in there as well. I think that's going to do well. Things like Google. So the big thing is going to be able to next week is that bonds continue higher. So you want to look for TLT to go higher, and then that should have a positive feedback loop into all the names that we've talked about, with a specific emphasis on semiconductors. All right, guys, hope this video was helpful. As always, before you click off our page and you go somewhere else on the YouTubes, go ahead and leave us a like, leave us a dislike, and leave us a comment. You could take your choice as to a like or a dislike. We really don't care. Just make sure you click on a thumb up or down. Just let us know you were here, right? At the end of the day, it really does help us with the algorithm, and that's what it's all about, right? We're just going to shoot straight with you. We'd like to reach more people with our content. We think we put out some of the best content, financial content on YouTube and in general, frankly. And if you guys can help us out by clicking the subscribe button, clicking the like button, or the don't like, that's okay too. Just let us know you're here. And also, if you feel like it, leave us a comment, and we'd love to hear from you. Aside from that, guys, we hope to see you sometime in the Simpler Trading Gold Room. It's a lot of fun, a lot of really cool community. We like to make money together, share some stories, share some laughs, and share some ideas. And that's what it's all about, right? Helping each other get better and making that money. All right, guys, hope this was helpful. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Cheers.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me